Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening to all. Good evening to all. We hope that you have had a wonderful and blessed day today. I want to first thank all of you for coming by and stopping by the stream, the podcast. We have a new guest today. This is going to be a very interesting topic. The topic today is going to be the key roles of men today in today's society. The following week, we'll do key roles to women in today's society. And then after that, we're going to go in multiple different directions. So first and foremost, I want to thank you all for coming by. Welcome to the channel. Please take this time to like and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Also, feel free to click and leave any comments or questions that you may have. Also, there will be a link in the comment section below and YouTube channel name that comes across the bottom of the screen throughout the podcast. Make sure you go check this young man's channel out. At this moment, I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself. Doc, would you like to go ahead and take a moment to tell the audience what you do, about your channel and everything?
Sure. My name is Doc, and I have a YouTube channel called Small Biz Doc. And what I do is I teach people how to become entrepreneurs, how to get their business started up. I own several businesses. I own an Italian ice company. I own a Spanish shaved ice company. I have real estate investments, properties. I also do small business consulting, and also have a Philly cheesesteak company. So I have over 20 years of experience in starting these businesses by myself. And one of the things that I do actually cover is one of the biggest challenges people have with business startup is coming up with the capital. So I teach people how to get the capital. A lot of people, don't understand the ins and outs of getting the capital and things like that. So I teach you how to get the capital, how to do your business plan, how to structure your business. And I have a YouTube channel called Small Biz Doc. If you go over there, SMALLBIZDOC, I have a lot of information out there on how you can start your business. Open to questions. And I'm really glad to be here today to talk about this very important topic that we have scheduled for today.
Absolutely. And my brother-in-law, Tim, once again, would you like to go ahead and briefly introduce yourself? You should be a familiar face to the channel. Tim, mic check. Tim. All right. Well, we might be having some difficulties with Tim. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on, and Tim, I'm sure will jump in as he comes back and forth. So, one of the first questions that we had for today was, what are the key roles of being a man in today's society? And Doc, if you want to go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit, and then I'll jump in and give some insight on my thought process as well.
Well, I think there's like a great disconnect as far as what men are nowadays, because there's so many different stereotypes and captions. You have the religious aspect of what being a man is. Then you have the man's machoism aspect of what being a man is. Then you have the black man's aspect of what being a man is. For me, I think it's one that's of leadership, that portrays leadership. One that portrays some form of spirituality. Doesn't necessarily have to be Christian, but you have to, I think, believe in a higher being. You know what I mean? There's more out there than just us. That's just my opinion. I think you have to be responsible with your finances. That's very important nowadays too. But I think the great disconnect comes, particularly in our community, is because we have never had any male figures growing up, for the most part. The majority, well, for me, I grew up in a single parent family. Mother was under domestic violence, and, my mother left my father at a very young age. So I did not have any particular role models there growing up. But one thing that really helped me to understand what the character of a man is and understanding how to be a responsible man was, one, I had mentors. That was a really big thing for me. I had a lot of male mentors that helped me along that high school through adult, and even then. So that was one thing that was really beneficial for me. That, and also having a relationship, with God, with a higher power.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback on what you said, because you're right. A lot of men have this macho mentality that you got to be tough and you got to have strength and you got to, you know, you are the head of your home. But coming
That's
from a
right.
spiritual point of view, my beliefs, my thought process, one is right. You are head of a home, but that doesn't mean that you're the dominant role of the house. That doesn't mean that you
That's
dominate
right.
your wife, you dominate your kids, you dominate your family. What you say must
Mm-hmm.
go, and you know most men or most men might have a misconception that that's what that means. And to
Yeah.
me, being head is being that spiritual leader, the spiritual
Mm-hmm.
provider, like you said, finances,
Mm-hmm.
that spiritual protector, um,
Mm-hmm.
cultivator, but you also got to have that
Mm-hmm.
presence of God. So when I look at what does it mean being a man in today's society, one, you cannot be a man if you do not have God's presence in your life. That's
Mm-hmm.
my first and foremost personal opinion. And then those blessings from God comes down from within and it comes through within.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
one of the biggest things, like you said, providing, most men get wrapped up and always look at the financial aspect of it. And if you're not
Mm-hmm.
working, if you're not bringing in income, which don't get me wrong, that is a very important piece. But then
Mm-hmm.
if you're not just the bread maker or the breadwinner of that family, you're not providing for that family as you should. And in today's society, you'll be surprised. There are a lot of women that has more opportunity, that has a better opportunity than most men. But that doesn't mean that your level of providing for that family is at a downfall. Providing for that family doesn't
Mm-hmm.
also mean financially. You provide input
Mm-hmm.
as a man. You provide guidance as a man. You provide decision making as a man. You provide wisdom as a man. So there's so many other aspects
Mm-hmm.
of providing that gets misconstrued or misunderstood just with that simple word
Mm-hmm.
providing. Financials are important, but also speaking into someone's life, cultivating that woman not only to be the woman that you want her to be, but the woman that God created her to be. And it
Mm-hmm.
goes on and on and on. So there's so many different misunderstanding of that word providing and cultivating and work. And to me, work was one of the things that impressed me a lot, because when you hear the word work, you think, well, I got to go get a 8 to 5 job. And that's one thing. When I looked at a couple of your videos yesterday, that's one thing. There was one thing that stood out to me. Work is just as important as it is at home what you do from your regular
Mm-hmm.
job. So one
Yeah.
thing that you said in one of your videos, that it takes work to become financially free. It takes hard work
Mm-hmm.
to gain and to get the business that you're looking for, to be successful, to gain that entrepreneurship. It takes hard work.
Yeah.
Tim, we hear
Yeah.
you. We just
I
can't
was
see
gonna
your
say.
video yet. Go ahead and jump in, Doc,
I was
while
gonna
I
say.
work on Tim.
I was gonna say. You were talking about the spiritual aspect. You know what I mean? Spirituality is a personal choice. What I mean? For many, they look at the Bible. For someone, it may be Hinduism. For someone else, it may be Islamic. Not even believe in religion, but that doesn't negate them from actually being a man. So, we can't negate that. But I know what you were saying is the key, and I said this on some of my videos. And as black men, we've been through so much over the years that we some men can't even call themselves men. They don't know what a man is. They have identity crisis, and because of the things that we've been in, I mean, the racism, the economic racism, you know what I mean, all of those of understanding what a male figure is, because in a sense, all those things that are against us have emasculated us. You know what I mean? So to know yourself, you have to know yourself in order to actually understand what a man is. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that takes some soul searching. Someone can't go out, and that's where the problem comes in. Everybody's looking for a man. The hip hop people are looking at a man as one way. You know, and the
Right.
metrosexuals are looking at another way. The church people are
Right.
looking at another way. You know, but who do you say you are from the biblical perspective? Who does God say you are? Who does your God say you are? You know what I mean?
Right.
And once you have
Absolutely.
that confidence that you are, and you know that you're a man, those other things don't make a difference. And a man is not someone who just makes laws and
Absolutely.
a man has restraint. A man has power. A man has wisdom. There's so many different characteristics that go into the character of an actual true man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good. That's good.
I'm preaching, but I ain't a preacher.
But that's what we do here. That's what we do here. Let's see. Tim, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Tim?
Loud and clear. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
if you want to go ahead and jump in on your key roles of a man, go ahead and jump in and take over, sir.
Absolutely. When I think about key roles of a man, the first things that pop in my mind are uh, responsibility and accountability. Um, that's one of the things that when I think about responsibility, it's one of those things that uh, it's really it's either you do it or you don't. And it's what we prioritize as far as our, when it comes to responsibility. A lot of times we want to probably just throw it on, as men. It's easy to throw it, off to the next person, not deal with it or don't have a plan. I think a lot of times it's a lack of having a plan, and seeing that plan through, and then things just fall by the
Mm-hmm.
wayside from there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the ball gets dropped when it comes to responsibility and accountability. When I think about that, it's one of those things that uh, as men we have to do a better job of allowing people, the right people, preferably the right people, to come into our life, to be able to speak into our life, to give us that wisdom, give us that direction that we need, instead of looking at a magazine or getting worldly wisdom. Um, I think that, and nothing against that stuff, because it can be some good advice and some good nuggets of wisdom in that. But at the end of the day, you need something as a man to sustain you and to keep you going forward. You can't just have something that's good today and then gone tomorrow, because you can't live off of that. There's no sustainability off of that. But those are some of the key roles that I think of specifically. Uh, uh, that jump out to me, that I know for my life in particular, I try to make sure I stay on top of, is being, all my responsibilities that I have, and having accountability, having someone to be accountable, and having
Right.
accountability in my life,
Right.
because that's so needed. That is so needed for us
That's
as men
good.
to be able to
I know one of the
succeed and be people.
things.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doc.
I know. I was gonna say one of the things that's really stood out for me, and which has really affected my life immensely, was looking at the origin of men, in particular black men, because I'm a black man. So I looked at the origin of African American men from Africa, from what they were taught years ago. One mantra that came out that I lived by is the Bible says something similar, but this was an Egyptian proverb from many years ago. It says, "The kingdom of heaven is within you, and whosoever know himself shall find it." You know what I mean? And that's a powerful statement, because if you know who you are, no one can take that away from you. I might not have a pot to piss in, but when I walk into a meeting, I walk in there like I own the room, because that's how I see myself. And that's what men do. That's how men should be. You have to see yourself as a leader. Otherwise, nobody else is going to see you as a leader. Nobody else is going to see you as successful. And you don't have to have those things, those materialistic things, because remember, I told you it's about a mentality. Everything that we ever do or accomplish, or anything that's ever come into being, starts with a thought. So if you can transform your mind into being that which you want to be, you can be successful at anything. You can be the greatest man that there was, even though you may not have it right now. It's your mentality. You know what I mean? So that's something that's very strong for me. You have to have the mentality of what a man is. Otherwise, how are you going to know? Because you're emulating something that you've seen or something that someone told you.
Right. That's good. That's good. That's good. So with that statement that you just said, I sort of want to go ahead and go into the second topic, or the second question, and sort of just go ahead and lead into that. And that would be, what challenges do we face as men in today's society. So, Tim, how about you go ahead and jump in on that part?
Okay. Challenges I think we face is I think it's so many. It's a myriad of things, but some of the things I was thinking of was stereotypical type of stereotypes that are placed on us as men. Uh, things aren't like they were 30, 40, not even 10, 5 years ago, just about when it comes to men and being in society. Um, but I believe we face there's a lack of fathers. The lack of fatherhood, I think, is probably one of the biggest things, challenges that we face, because the generation that's coming up behind us, who's going to lead them? It's supposed to be us as men, but I think things have gotten lost in the generations before us. No generation perfect, no group of men or anybody was perfect before us or even now. But it seems like we lost something along the way when it came to uh, fatherhood. And speaking, also speaking as a black man, the prison system is just totally ridiculous. There's no really true sense of reform when it comes to that thing. When it comes to that for us as here in America, especially for black men. But you know, living by the street code, living by you know, being brought up in the environment that you're being brought up in is not the best, in a lot of our cases. So you're gonna emulate what we see and what they see on, what we see on TV, what society, what the music videos, what the athletes, what all these people say what a man is, and what uh, you have to do to become, to get the success, what they define as is success, from a worldly mentality. And but what gets lost in the way of that a lot is, what are you losing of yourself, your true self, to attain those things? And that's when drugs and all type of alcohol and addictions of all sorts come into play, because we're not there's no sense of things being taught and wisdom being, so to speak, being taught to the other, the generation that's coming behind us. It's like kind of fight for your own, do what you can, fend for yourself, that type of thing. But it's not really any teaching. And I remember being a kid growing up. I'm 34, but having those older men, I'm thankful for that in my life to help me, maneuver past and get past the potholes of life. Not perfect, but I just think that now is missing, and that fatherhood in general is one of the biggest challenges, I think, is that we face as men. The lack of fathers, true fathers, or father figures.
That's good. That's good. So, Doc, before I let you answer that question, I want to thank everyone that is watching the podcast currently right now. Please feel free to leave any questions in the comments. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, you'll see a link in the YouTube channel to Doc's YouTube channel for the small business entrepreneurship. Anybody that's looking in a rental property, please feel free to check out his channel. He has some great information on that channel as well. Just basically how to start your business off. Also, like and subscribe to his channel as well. We will do more future collaborations together. And please invite your friends, your family, everyone. This is a channel where no opinion is right, no opinion is wrong. It's just simply an opinion, and it's simply a platform where we all can share our opinions. Come in together in love, and walk out together in love. So please take a moment, like the channel, subscribe to both of our channels, and leave any comments or questions that you have below. Doc, go ahead and jump in on that question.
Yeah. So, what challenges do we face as men? You got the yellow pages right there. There's so many. You have socioeconomical challenges. You know what I mean? You have mental challenges. You have discrimination. You have racism, fatherlessness. Just like Tim said. and so many of those challenges go unmet. And I guess not more so than what challenges are we facing. We need to look at how are we going to overcome those challenges? What are we going to do for those challenges? Because the challenges definitely outweigh the solution. There's so many challenges. Like I told you, I grew up in a family with domestic abuse, and when you're younger and you see those things, most of the men grow up beating up women. Luckily, I had intervention by mentors, like I told you, so that I don't have that mentality. But what we need to do as Black men is we need to look at the challenge, but we also need to figure out how are we going to face those challenges? How are we going to overcome those challenges? And transition comes from within. You know what I mean? We have to not be afraid of seeking help for mental health. You know what I mean? That's something that a lot of I think all Black men need in this era today, because there's so many things out there. We have to look at what are we doing for ourselves to be a better man, so that we can become or transform into what that man is that we desire to be, whatever that may be. And you need to have mentors. You need to have people we can go to. Black men it's a lonely road we travel. You know what I mean? We get together for sports and things like that, but it's so superficial that we never talk about things like this. And I'm so glad that you had this conversation today, because this is something that's greatly needed right now. Looking at everything going on, look at the political system. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes they just want us to just die and go away. You know what I mean? And that's something that we carry around with every day that we never talk about, things like that. So, we have to really look within and be able to transform our minds so that we can know and we can overcome those challenges that are facing us. Like I said, the challenges facing us are immense. There's so many,
Absolutely. And, I'm going to add a little piece to that. I listened to Miles Monroe a lot, and I remember he did an analogy breakdown of what changed the whole dynamic of what men used to be and what men are today. And if you think about the war, when men used to go out and fight the battles and women used to stay at home and took care of the house and everything while men was out, or while men was working in the warehouses or the docks and in the plants and everything. When that battle came up and then all the men got shipped out and then the women had to go into the manufactories and start making bullets and things of that sort, it sort of slowly started changing the role of the men, because when the men came back from war, women was working their jobs, women was bringing in income and everything else. And it was so unique how he broke it down from a history point of view. Not even talking about slavery and everything, but just looking at how the dynamics of the man in the home changed, which end up changing the definition of a man. So when women start bringing in income, they didn't need you to provide a house. They didn't need you to provide a car. They already have income to do those things. So you made a statement earlier about a man. Most men do not even know what it is to be a man in today's society. And it's sort of hard because it's almost as if you have to compete with the opposite sex, or most men think you have to compete. If you're not bringing home the money, if you're not the breadwinner, you can't go buy a woman a car because she already has her own. And it's so powerful how he said it. You can't buy a woman a house because she already owns her own house. You can't give a woman a child because she already has her own child. So you can't go buy her gifts because everything that she wanted for herself, she's already bought it for herself. So everything that mostly make men a man, that woman has already provided for herself. And now that man is left, well, what do you need me for? What do you need me to do? What am I to you? And it's so powerful because you really don't realize how many men actually think like that in today's society. So you look at challenges, it's hard. Go ahead.
I was going to say, everything you just named that they say men are providing for women is all materialistic.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to get. I was just going to get there.
Being a man is not material. There's nothing really materialistic about being a man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's about your mentality, and that's kind of deep. You know what I mean? So if you're looking, providing this, I'm providing that, or I'm doing this, I'm dating her, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. That doesn't make you a man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those are good things that we can do, but that doesn't make you a man. You know,
right. And as I go back to what I was saying earlier, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, and like I said, you know, we've been beat down so much that we don't even understand what a man is. How are you going to be a man if you don't understand what a man is, because you've been so turned down mentally? So that's why I said that change has to come within. And then that trend, that within is what they say, an inward working, outward manifestation. So you have that inward working, then that's an outward manifestation of what the character of a man is.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why, you know, for me, getting grounded in the word and understanding what God created us to be is the only way. It was my way of understanding what it means to be a man to me. When I understood from the beginning the purpose of why he created man in the first place. He created man in his image.
Yeah.
He created man to work, to provide, to cultivate, to rule the land. And then after all that was created, he looked at man and said, man, can I do this alone? He created man to help. So when first I had to go back and understand, this is why I was created. I was created in his image to be like him, to fulfill the purpose that he already provided for me, that he already possessed in me. So I had to understand, because if I go off of what the world says, or worldly people would say that this is how you need to be. You need to toughen up, put your foot down in your house. You need to do this. You need to do that. Well, you're right. I need to be a leader in my home, not put my foot down. I need to be the leader in my home, but also keep in mind that me being married, I have a help to help me lead the home, to help me raise the kids, to help provide for the house.
Right.
And it's all about equal. It's all about unity. It's all about togetherness in one. So this is a real good topic. And, you know, I'm proud to say that I have a wife that helps when I'm at work, that helps when I'm at home, that helps when I'm out. If I decide to go somewhere and hang out with my friends, she's steady helping. And if she decides to go out, you know, it's a partnership. So that's real good. That's real good. So before we go into topic number 3, there was a couple of questions that came in through the stream. I think Doc actually answered that one. How do you overcome the challenges that you have as men? I think we actually answered that question. Also, what do you do? Matter of fact, hold up. I forgot technology is something else. Also, the question should be on the screen now. What do you do when you want to be a better man but have no positive influence to follow? Whoa, that's a deep question. That's a deep question. Woo!
I'll take that.
Go ahead, take that one.
What do you do when you want to be a man but you have no positive influences? First thing you need to do is get rid of the influences that are there, because apparently they're not what you want.
Right.
Yes.
They're apparently not what you want. So you need to surround yourself with like-minded people of what you want to be. And that goes like that same thing in business and wealth and success and all those other things, and male character. The thing that really helped me when I was younger at that transitional age was I started hanging around, and it wasn't black men, because they weren't around. I was going to church and it was white men, you know what I mean, who kind of, just kind of picked me up, mentored me in church, stuff like that. And I came back and gave it to the black men of color, because we need that. But you need to cut your circles, and that's a big thing. Some of us need to cut our circles. You know what I mean? Get rid of those negative influences. And here's the other thing. What you consume is what you're going to become. If all you're watching is sports, basketball, TV, and those things like that, and you're not really putting anything worth knowledge within your mind, then you're going to have that mindset. That's why you have grown men walking around with sagging pants, because they look at those things and they become what they look at. So, you have to transform your mind by renewing that mind with things that are of the character that you want. If you want to be a successful man, then you consume things that are successful, so you can transform your mind into having a successful mind for those things. If you want to be a better father, then you consume those things that are teaching you and talking about being a better father, not just looking at the Cosby Show on TV. That ain't reality. Right. If you want to be a better husband, the same thing. You know what I mean? Look at those things that they do. And it's not an easy task because we have so many layers of negative things that we have within us, our mindsets. But that's what you do. You need to change that circle of influence that you have, be it television, whatever, friends or whatever. You need to change that circle.
Right. Tim, did you want to add anything to that?
Good. He nailed it. I'm not
He
going to
nailed
repeat
it.
I was going to say some of the same things he said. I don't want. Yeah, I'm not going to rehash it. That was perfectly said.
He sort of led us right into the last question of the day, or not the last question of the day, but the next question that we had, which is, what should a man's role be in a marriage or a relationship? Tim, you are a married brother. Why don't you go ahead and jump in on that one?
Sure am. 10 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, 10
Congratulations.
years this year in October. So I'm so excited. So excited. Yeah, 10 years later, 3 kids later. Yeah. Whew. All right. But the man's
congratulations.
role, the biggest thing.
Man walked away.
I'm in it for the long haul. The biggest thing is spirit, being there, being the leader, being there spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'm going to touch more on that emotional part in a second, but this in every aspect, being there, being involved. The role of, you have to, we know what the Bible says, that the man is, is the head of the house, but that doesn't mean it's a dictatorship. It just means he has the authority, but the wife, she is definitely there to help and to, like you said earlier, Fred, she's a helpmate. Thank God for, for our women that are God-fearing women, Proverbs 31 women that are, have that wisdom to help us at times. Sometimes, we don't get it right, or we're thinking just one way, and God can reveal through her another perspective, and that could be the way you need to go for that particular, decision. But it's a partnership, like you said before. But it's I think a lot when it talks about, when I've kind of dove into the word and when it talks about spirituality with the man, I think when it says that, it talks about also about, we know that women are nurturers, kind of just automatically, that's kind of just who they are, because they carry the baby for 9 months, they feed the baby. It's just that closeness, that tight knit, relationship with the baby. But as men, we're very responsible as husbands, and in that role, we're just as much as responsible for the spiritual growth of that child, because we're supposed to be nurturing as well. We're we have to lead in that example, in that way, and just also emotionally. That's one of the things that I know for me, and it's like, whoa, society always talks about how, you know, real men don't cry, real men don't show their emotions and stuff like that. But that's nonsense, because, part of, being a, Galatians 5:22 talks about, that's part of the fruits of the spirit. It talks about gentleness. That's part of it. If you're a Christian, you're a God-fearing man, then that's part of you. There's a gentleness there. There's not just your way or the highway. So, but the emotional part is being present. You can always be there. That's great. You're involved with your kids, what they're doing with your wife. You're there physically, but are you there? Are you invested emotionally? Are you caring? Are you being considerate? Are you really just you have to, it's a giving. It's straight selflessness. It's a straight just giving to your family, because God has made you the head of the household, and he's giving you that responsibility. And it's your responsibility to make sure that your family is following after the things of God. They're following your lead. And if they, thank God, if you fall, you have there, you can get up again. There's people there that receive you to help you out. But at the end of the day, they're following you. That daughter, my daughter, she's 8. She's seeing what, when she gets older, by the end of this decade, I can't believe that at the end of this decade, she'll be graduating on the way out to college. It's scary to think that. But at the same time, like, I have this time I have to invest. She has to see what godly man is, so she can make that great decision as she gets older when it comes to Well, she ain't dating until she's 25, but anyway. But as she gets older, she'll have that. She'll know what a man, how he's supposed to treat her and stuff like that. And also my sons, my 6-year-old and 2-year-old, they'll see, you know, how a man responds, how he's supposed to, you know, by how he acts, you know, his attitude, his behavior, his responses to the challenges of life. There's going to be challenges, but they need to see how their dad, you know, is going to respond, because they're watching every step of the way. They're watching everything that you do. So we have to be mindful of that.
That's good. That's good. Doc, I'm gonna let you in, but I want to add something real quick, because I was just thinking as Tim was speaking, and I'm married. I'm close to going on a year, and one thing that I'm learning. I spoke on it earlier on the providing aspect of a marriage or a relationship in general. I want to speak on the protecting part. One thing that I've learned, I used to always have this mindset that being a protector was, let's just say, making sure the house is locked up, making sure the kids are safe, making sure that any weapon that try to come across my family, I'll be the one that's standing in line first. And I'm learning that it goes much deeper than that. We have a helpmate, or we have a help in our marriage, and they are helping us keep things in line, keep things in order. But what I'm realizing that I have to spend as much energy on making sure things are in line and in order, and also protecting her from those things that she's trying to keep in line, keep in order. The thing about being head is that everything should hit me first. Mm-hmm. Finances should hit me first. Bill collectors should hit me first. Stress from jobs should hit me first. If my wife can't voice her opinion at work, she should be able to come voice her opinion on me, and I should be able to take that blow, because she needs to get that off of her back. She needs to get that off of her shoulder. When bill collectors or people coming by trying to sell things and stuff, they should be contacting me first, not her. You're protecting her from any and every outside element that you can protect her from. And that is one of the most important things that I'm starting to learn, because That's good. Most women would try to carry the load. They would try to, hey, if a man can do it, I can do it too. Well, you know what? I'm glad you feel that way. But honestly, you're not built that way. You're not built with broad shoulders. You're not built with a big back. You're not built to carry that load, because the laws that God gave was given to man and man alone. But on that day after everything was created, he said, man cannot do this alone. But that didn't mean that the laws are split. The laws still fall, the weight of the law still fall on my shoulders. So I have to protect her, because when I'm wondering, she walk in the house, slam the door, don't say hey to me, obviously something that I should have protected her from then got to her, and now I'm finna feel the wrath of it. But if I was able to intervene before it got to her, my house would have been a happy home. I could have came home to some grits and eggs or some bacon bits or something, Vienna sausage and crackers, a nice bowl of warm milk and cereal, but something that got to her that I didn't protect her from. But then again, now I have to play, okay, so is it something that I could have prevented, or is it something that I just need to cultivate her through? So now I have to first listen before I try to always jump in and fix the problem, because most men, we like to fix the solution. Okay, baby, just tell me what happens. Just tell me what happens so I can fix it. Maybe she just wants you to listen. And that has been one of the biggest challenges that I have to understand as a man, as a married man, as a father. I have to listen first before I just always jump in and try to fix something. But a lot of things that marriages, a lot of problems that marriages go through could have been prevented simply by protecting them from the things that's causing stress, the things that's causing worry, the things that's causing fear, the things that's causing doubt. And I'm understanding that now. And it's, you know, that old saying, is better late than never. Then hey, it's better late than never. So I'm glad I'm learning on that now. Doc, if you want to go ahead and add something to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so The scripture says that God said, "Let us make man in our image." You notice the word there, "our," meaning that there's a multifacetedness to it. And in the same way, likewise, men are multifaceted. Also, the other part, the two shall become one. So it said, "Let us make man in our image." So you have those three making one being. And then God also said, "The two shall become one." So even though you're two separate individuals with two separate parts, you're one unit. You know what I mean? And like you said, one thing affects everybody. But just like with God, you have the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, three different entities. You have the Father, the Son, and the power, the Holy Spirit. Just like within that family, you have a husband and a wife. Each one has different attributes, but you're still one. So when something comes up, because you're one, who's best suited for that attribute? Like you said, bill collector's calling. Okay, that's you, right? Babies need nurturing. That's mom. Still one unit though.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
the power and the unity. Remember the power of agreement.
Right.
So that power of agreement within that unity, just like you have the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the two shall become one. You know, that creates a dunamis environment. You know what I mean? So once you understand that, you know what I mean, and that supersedes you know, in a sense, realistically, you know, who's the man, who's the female, you know what I mean? Because you're one. Just like it's three God, we're one. So I just want to share that.
That's good. That's good.
Really
so before we get ready to end the stream, there was another question that came up. Question is, what do you do when you are a husband and have issues you're struggling with, but don't have anyone to give guidance or guidance on your issues? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. The question did pop up on it. Okay.
I say go get counseling. Get counsel.
Yes.
And you know, this is me personally. You know, if you have a Lamborghini, are you going to take that Lamborghini to a Toyota dealer? No.
If it's cheaper. If it's cheaper to get it fixed.
I think it'll be jacked up. It's gonna be jacked up when you get back.
So if you need counseling, you know, are you going to go to your pastor who's not a counselor per se, but a pastor? Or are you going to go to a professional? I say go to a professional. You know what I mean? Because a pastor, he may be able to counsel, but he's not a counselor. So if you have something, but you need something serious done, I say go to a professional counselor where that's their specialty and they can help. Now, that's not taking anything away from a pastor or anything like that, but it's just the specialty. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you have a Lamborghini, you're going to take it to a Toyota dealer? No, you're going to take it to a Lamborghini specialist because that's what they're specialized in. So back to that question that he said, I think you should go to counseling, get counseling. There's nothing wrong with counseling. And, you know, honestly, men have a problem with the mental health thing. We don't think that we need it when we realistically do.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Tim, you want to add anything?
Just kind of piggyback off of what Dot said. You know, if you know, you have to just get counseling. I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that. But you know, you don't, and spare no expense. You know, marriage is one of those things. You know, when you said your vows, you were just not saying it before the pastor and the congregation. You were saying it. I mean, that's before God. It's a very serious matter. So if you mean those vows, you're gonna do whatever use all the resources it takes to make sure that union stays together. Because the divorce rate here in the States, I think, is over 50%, you know, 51, 52%, something around that. And it's ridiculous. And you know, it's a lot of this between in the Christian community. And just, you know, get the help. You know, as men, you know, let's make sure, let the pride go. You know, pride comes before the fall. Let it go and just be honest, you know, and just have that conversation and talk, you know, with your spouse and with that counselor, and just lay it all out there. And, you know, you will feel, I'm sure, definitely feel a burden and a weight off you,
Right.
you know, but definitely counseling.
And I was going to say one thing, man, I really commend the brother who actually asked that question, because most men wouldn't even ask that question. They would compartmentalize that and hold it in.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest problems. So I commend the brother to ask that question.
Actually, I believe that was a woman that answered that question.
Yeah.
It's a great question. That was a wonderful question, though.
A wonderful question.
I'm glad the question was asked either way.
Right. So before we end the stream, y'all, one, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I want to thank everyone for taking a moment out of their Sunday evening to just listen to us babble along about being a man. But I thank you all for coming by. Make sure you please go check out Doc's channel. I cannot emphasize that enough. I watched about probably 3 or 4 videos yesterday. Just finished the remodeling of his first rental probably as well. So please go take a moment, go check him out. He has some great tips, and I know his future is bright. He's gonna blow up big on YouTube because he's giving great advice for young men, for young people in general, or people in general, no matter your age, your gender. He's giving great advice. So, Doc, I want to thank you personally for coming by and being a guest on the channel. Hopefully this will not be your last time on the podcast. We will be covering a lot of topics for a lot of years to come. But please go by, check his channel out. If you have not liked this video or this channel, please make sure you subscribe, like to the channel. Next week, we will be doing key roles of a woman. So I ask all the ladies, single ladies, married ladies, to please come by, join in on this conversation. And feel free, if you're watching this on a replay, on a restream, leave your comments down below. I will get to those comments. I will address those comments or questions that you may have. And also, you can also follow us on the next podcast coming up again. If you guys have anything else, Doc, you want to give a shout out to your channel again, just make sure everybody has it?
Yeah, I want to thank Game Changers for inviting me, because this was a game changer. Really, really powerful. I mean, y'all pull stuff out of me I know I have within me. So
that's good.
You're having a good dialogue, and these are things that aren't really talked about very often. You know, men don't talk anyway. So the fact that we're here talking, I commend you and Tim for creating this. You know, for having us here and just this dialogue that we had.
That's good.
Definitely looking forward to doing more with Game Changers, so we can create life changers from the Game Changer strategy.
That's right. That's right.
And you know, and you know, we need to support each other. So you know, I'm here for you, man. You're here for me. We're gonna work this thing together, and we're both gonna be you know, successful in that which we're striving to do. I thank Tim for being really good answers, Tim. I enjoyed your company. I enjoyed your responses and your answers. You know what I mean? You made me think a little bit. You know what I mean? Which is really good. So this is really good for me. You know, because and like I said, most men don't have dialogue like this. Right. So that's what made it very really very real for me and touching. So I share, you know, Small Biz Doc, you know, the YouTube channel. Go over there, like and subscribe. Have information about creating your business, starting your business. I do have one mental health video out there that's very important. It's probably the one that got the most views that I've done. It's on Black men's mental health, which is a really important thing. And I think it was so powerful because it hit from home. There's a lot of things in there that you know, when you start talking, you realize, man, this is me, you know, coming out. So go over there and check out some of those videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I think I'm going to do something special for Game Changers. So I have an ebook that I wrote called, you know, Starting Your Business, the Guide to Starting Your Business. If you go over there and subscribe, I will send you my free ebook, and you guys can have that guideline to starting your business. So I'm going to do that for all the Game Changer people, so we can make life-changing people.
Hey, we appreciate that.
Hey.
We appreciate that.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You, Tim, both of y'all.
And hey, I see one of the best realtors in the state of Texas and join the comments. Lynn, I thank you for introducing me to Doc. Make sure if you are in Texas and you're looking at buying a home, reach out to me so I can give you Lynn information. She is great. She is great. She has a great staff and a great team that she works with and that she's a part of. And we wouldn't be in the location that we're in today if it wasn't for her. So, Lynn, thank you for coming by. Thank you for introducing me to Doc. We really appreciate it. You done started something now that you're going to have to finish. So So we thank you all for coming by. If you're watching this on a restream, once again, please make sure you leave your name, your comments, your questions, and any concerns that you may have. Thank you all for coming by. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Till next time, guys. Thank you all.
Yep.
Thank you all. All right.
All right.
Have a good one.